Hi Cancer, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back to those of you who've been here. Welcome to those of you who are new. My name's Jackie. I post weekly messages for each of the astrological archetypes. I combine tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology, whatever I feel in the moment. I recommend checking out your rising sign first. So your rising sign does not only indicate your physical appearance, it's your sense of self. It's your identity, your approach, your attitude to life. So obviously for all those reasons, that is direct application on your daily experience, whereas your sun sign is more like your ego consciousness, your soul self. It's the part of you that people get to know. They meet you as your rising sign, and then as they get to know you a little more deeply, then they understand your sun sign a lot better. And then your moon sign is your emotions. It is your soul. And then Venus is the way you do relationship, how you handle money, how your sense of self. So if you know your placements, great, check them. If not, just, enjoy the readings, take away food for thought, right? Don't try to hang on to anything too tightly. Take what resonates throughout the rest and don't try to make it fit. All right, so let's just start off with the general spread, just doing things a little differently this week. General spread just to get a lay of the land for the general energies for me, and then we'll do a Celtic cross spread, then we'll do a relationship read. I'll pull some cards at the end for those of you in separation. So let's see what we have going on. Astrologically speaking, we don't have a whole lot going on. We already have a lot going on for the month, but two big things going on is Jupiter, still retrograde, is popping back to hang out with Saturn back into that 8th house for you guys in Aquarius. That's happening on the 28th, and then on the 27th, Mercury enters Leo. So it's going to be entering Leo with the Sun, with Mars in your 2nd house of money, work, income, daily routines, values, material possessions, your habits, your priorities, all of those things. But they're going to be sitting in tension with the values of your partner, how you merge with partner, how you merge with other, how you show up as a we in intimate relationships. It rules intimacy, sex, shared finances in relationship. Also how you show up as a merged sense of self in any sort of business venture. Right? It could also deal with inheritances, taxes, loans, assets, property, any sort of joint ventures as well, anything like that. So there could be this tension there because Saturn with Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius, it's like, I really want to do this. I want to break free. I want to do this. With this Mercury and Leo energy, you're going to be very, very communicative and having to do with anything regarding your money, regarding your values, regarding your priorities when it comes to dealing with somebody in your life. So we have the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, number 8 is the number of mastery. Yeah. So there's this focusing on responsibilities in a very diligent and hardworking way is going to be very comfortable for you right now. Money or connection, right, is on its way, because Pentacle doesn't only mean money, it means mental, physical, emotional connection is on its way, though, as a result of work that you've put into something. So there's an opportunity to further your education, further your career, further your skill set, begin that relationship, whatever it is. But there's this very logical and diligent approach that's necessary to it, and it's being clarified by the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is very much, it's Mars and Leo energy. And this is really about recognizing that something might be challenging right now, but you have the resilience to overcome whatever the challenge is that you're dealing with. Your morality and your personal philosophy is very important to you right now. What's wrong with that? Nothing, right? Is very important to you. The only thing is you might be a little unclear specifically about what that really means for you. What I mean by that is your belief system may be changing right now. And don't be surprised if it is, right? You have Neptune and Pisces in your 9th house of higher-mindedness, of your personal beliefs, your personal philosophy. And the Neptune is a very sort of smoke and mirror energy. It's very foggy. It's like trying to look at reality through a very dirty window. You could still see out of it, but you can't see everything. So and so that could be tricky, because then we could do just because we're human beings, part of what we do is we fill in where we don't have a lot of full clarity. We don't like to not be clear, so we could fill in with like some sort of narrative that we think makes sense, but we're not always right there, right? So we might be in this space where we're not really sure where we're going, what we're doing, or what's going on with a particular situation, but we're filling in, right? Maybe we might even be making some assumptions. So just something to keep in mind, because then clarifying that Seven of Wands, where it's kind of like you're drawing lines in the sand. You're saying, all right, this is what I need, this is what I don't need, that kind of thing. And things can just get very overwhelming, right? This is like responsibility and burden overload sort of thing. So there just might be a lot of challenges. Now we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands here. So these two energies together, you might be in a space where you're really trying to grow yourself. Like maybe you're working really hard at expanding a business, working really hard at this job, whatever it is, trying to work really hard on that relationship, right? Maybe some of you might even be fighting for your relationship at this point, but and it might be this space where it's like other things are being paid attention to over relationship. Other things are being paid attention to over that family situation, whatever it is. Because the Ten of Wands can show up like that as well. Where something is being neglected that just needs more attention. That's going to be for some of you. For others of you, it's just an overwhelm of responsibilities and burden in the 3D and also emotionally. And you end up in this Neptunian space. Neptune, I was just speaking about Neptune that you have in the 9th house. And you're like, I don't know. You might be in this position where you're waiting to see if something is worth time and effort, or you're going to end up sacrificing something that really matters to you. You're going to end up having to martyr yourself. If something seems very unclear, just wait, right? That's why this is sort of like press the pause button kind of energy, especially if it has to do with career or money. And if you're unclear with something, hold back on signing any sort of contracts or dealing with any sort of legal matters going on that you're not, because there might be something going on that you're not yet aware of, but you intuitively vibe. But you might experience some delays, but ultimately you're very protected. So don't worry if that's the deal. There might also be some sort of delay having to do with a home. If you're trying to remodel your home, sell your home, buy a home, something like that. But there's some sort of solution that's like right there. You just need to look at it from a different perspective, is what it seems like to me for some of you. But this Hangman, this Neptune energy, a lot of you could, just because Neptune is in your 9th and because Hangman is Neptune, I just feel like a lot of you may be in this space where it's like, all right, I don't want to live overwhelmed anymore. I need to sort of sit down, regroup, and figure out a way of moving forward where I'm saying I as you, where you feel like you're not sacrificing what really matters to you. Because if you're in something that you feel like, you know what, I just look at this, look, they're bucking heads, with the five of wands here. There's just competition, battle of the wills, lack of agreement, strong opinions being flipped back and forth. Pay attention if you have to sign any documents in this energy as well, any sort of contracts, anything. I'm not saying not to, just make sure, you should always read the fine print, but just make sure of that as well. Now, we have the 9 of Wands in the reverse. This is about have faith, but it's like, I don't want to put this. You're so tired of dealing with something, you just really are. Like at this point, you're going to have faith, but you're also sort of like low-key paranoid about something, and it's probably very well-founded, and you're also feeling defensive. If something's been going on, you feel it intuitively, there's no question, like your intuition is popping. It just says, it certainly is, especially with Neptune in the 9th, your intuition is popping. In the North Node in the 12th house, you're getting these messages that are like these little packaged gifts in your psyche right now. You just are. This is like the little gift that the Cancers are being given right now. So you can be like, rightfully so, feeling like, wait a minute, is that what's really going on here kind of thing? But don't lose faith, right? Don't lose faith in the situation. Don't lose faith. And we have the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords, look, you might be feeling like something just doesn't feel right anymore for you. That job, that family connection, that relationship, that friendship. is you're feeling very limited. You're feeling very trapped. You're thinking things are never going to get any better than what they are right now. And that thinking can be debilitating, especially if you don't like how the situation is rolling out right now, and it can get in the way of you being able to concentrate, and you just feel like, I just feel like I don't belong in this anymore, you know? So you feel like, you know, some of you may be in a space where you're going to have to swallow your pride to fix something, or some of you might be in the active throes of getting over something in this serious space of healing right now from something that didn't work out. And we have clarifying that. We have the King of Wands energy. And King of Wands is about you just being a free spirit and not worrying so much on the idea of perfectionism. Nothing has to be perfect, right? You being pushed to express your ideas and go after what you want, especially that Mercury and Leo in the second. Yeah, I mean, you want to go after that money. You're going to want to go after that work, that whatever it is, you know, drive that work ethic home. Maybe some of you might want to just go for that material possession that matters to you. That could be that home, that car, whatever it is. You're feeling very, very driven, right? And with the King of Wands energy, it's like, yeah, I mean, Cancer and Leo energy, you're right there, right? It's wanting to be a free spirit. But just make sure you don't allow the idea of something needing to be perfect, including yourself, to get in the way of being able to manifest something. Okay, we have the Six of Swords here. So the Six of Swords is an energy of moving on, detaching, or at least taking a break from something, either from a relationship or a job, allowing some space for some internal work. Some of you might be literally traveling right now or getting ready to go on some sort of trip. It could be that, but there is this pulling away, this sort of detaching from the situation. And then we have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is always an interesting energy to come up, right? It's a Moon and Cancer energy. So this could indicate restlessness, boredom, apathy about a situation. It's like, you know what, whatever. It's like, you know, feeling, am I ever going to meet the right person? Am I ever going to feel happy in a job? Am I ever going to get an opportunity? You know, fill in the blank kind of. But what you need to understand with this is that with the Four of Cups energy, there's a need to heal some sort of past unhealed issue inside of you. Not to say that whatever you're identifying is not real. I'm not saying that, right? You have this checklist. I can't be in that relationship because of it, this, and this. And that job, I can't take that because of that, and that. And, you know, having really, like, the reasons are good. But the reasons, and they might be very based in reality, but the buttons that they're pushing in you have to do with something from your past that isn't healed. Something that needs to be looked at. And even a small change or a small recognition can go a long way in this energy, you know? You know, is it fear of not having? Is it fear, you know, Cancer, look, I mean, you guys are Cancers, right? You guys are the fourth house energy. It's very important for you to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. You have to feel rooted and grounded. Are you in a situation that's challenging that? Even if to the next person, maybe it wouldn't be that. Maybe somebody's telling you being too sensitive. Who cares, right? If you're feeling it, it's real to you. It is. It's. You know, you just have to check with yourself and ask yourself if you haven't established any sort of narrative or law or rule inside of your own mind about this person or this situation that's based more in fear than it is in fact. You know, and only you know the answer to that. So then we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, which is about living in the past. Maybe having unrealistic expectations about something. Right? And then we do have the Moon reverse. So the Moon reverse tells me that you might be avoiding some sort of difficult emotions and confrontation. So your needs aren't expressed or recognized, and some sort of trauma is ignored instead of being explored and figured out. So it's very easy to go back to an old way of dealing with the past. So this shows me that you might be feeling stuck in some sort of old emotional pattern that just keeps coming up until you give it the attention that it really does deserve. And this could have to do with anything that, you know, that family situation. You see this a lot with family situations for sure, right? We could be adults, you know, many years could pass since we've been in our first home, right? We're hanging out with our siblings. Isn't it interesting how when we reconnect, even as adults, everybody sort of goes back to those given roles that they were in when, you know, when children, as children, right? The caretaker, the scapegoat, the truth teller, all of those things are, we ended up, all those emotions end up rising up inside of us. So it does seem like something needs to be recognized, right, when it comes to that. I just feel like that you're going to be looking at a lot of these energies within yourself. There's going to be a lot of realizations, first of all, because Uranus and Taurus is in your 11th house when it comes to your hopes and your wishes for the future. So a lot of really beautiful, cool epiphanies are going to be coming up for you. A lot of healing energies are going to be going on also in your 10th house of career, public reputation, and standing in the world, because you have Chiron retrograde and Aries in there. So this is going to be rolling out until December. So a lot of really a lot of nice changes are going to be going on for you. But it does seem like the core of something is really about getting very honest about the underlying psychology of a situation. And again, that's not to blame you at all. This is just for you to better understand if something is really troubling you and bothering you and you feel very blocked, like what is that triggering in you that needs to be looked at, you know? And I will say, guys, just because you have this energy working on your money axis, that's 2nd and 8th house axis, shared values, value system, right? Your work ethics, all of that. This is a really good energy to do some beautiful healing. Getting very honest with yourself about your relationship with money and things that matter to you and value. Like, what do you feel around the idea of money? How are you feeling about money? Is it good? Is it bad? Does it make you feel vulnerable and scared? Do you see it just as a way out? Like, what's been your experience with it? It's a really good exercise to do when you have heavy energies transiting the money axis in your chart. And again, I don't know you and your personal placement, so, you know, obviously take that with a grain of salt. Everything is food for thought here, of course. This is a non-personal reading. I don't know your personal birth chart. Okay, so let's do a 7-card ellipse for relationship, and however it comes out. And I'm going to pull some cards after this for those of you in separation. Okay. So some of you may be having this tension, keeping it real in relationship with the 2nd and 8th house energies, right? Because with Saturn and that Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter is all about expansion. But when it's retrograde and it's in the house with Saturn, Jupiter expands whatever other energy it's close to as well. So you might be feeling this a clear idea of what it is that you want to bring yourself, or how you want something to happen, having to do with that investment, having to do with the shared element of that relationship, whatever it is, right? But it's sitting in tension with the Sun, Mars, and Leo, in Leo, along with Mercury in Leo. You know, of course, the wheel having to do with the money that you make from the work that you do and your value system. So there can be this little bit of a squaring off energy in relationship, feeling that. So don't be surprised if you're feeling that. And it is also squaring Scorpio in the 5th, which has to do with romance, falling in love, love affairs, endings and beginnings. Scorpio is all about those endings and beginnings. And you do have Pluto and Capricorn in the 7th house of relationship, marriage, contracts. And so Pluto is all about this need to transform. So there's this need to change something. And I feel like the change has to do with how you guys connect and relate when it comes to shared resources, intimacy, value system, communication, right? And in the recent past, we have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups could mean literally like a new relationship or strong love and support within the relationship. Some of you may have found out that you were pregnant in the recent past. Some of you may be, because this has to do with love and key emotional events. So maybe you got married, you just met. Maybe you got engaged, maybe you got married, maybe you had a baby, maybe you bought a house together. Some sort of new beginning, right? Does seem like in the past, right? And now you're in a space of needing to temper something, because it does seem like, let me just pull an energy here in the Ace of Cups. Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups, but then there was somebody who was either overstepping boundaries. There was dishonesty at play here. Somebody was being selfish. right? Because I'm wondering, we have temperance as the current situation. How do you go from the Ace of Cups to then the need to temper a situation? Well, that'll do it, the Seven of Swords. And you feeling like you're needing to play somebody at their own game in order to find out what you need to know about the situation, right? Now, the temperance energy in numerology is the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant is one of the marriage cards, or at least having to do with a committed partnership, celebrating the sacred in relationship. But it has to do with tradition and commitment and expectation. So I feel like there might have been some dishonesty or some misleading or somebody not walking their talk, maybe, in the past, having to do with something here, and the need to temper. Right, where that needed to be some sort of, like, for some of you, maybe reconciliation, or the need to reconcile a point of contention within the relationship. But whatever it is, it was just this new, you're in this space right now where a new level of trust and patient cooperation can be had after a difficult time period, you know. Some of you that may be single right now, actually, as well, I'm just going to put this out there. I mean, if you met somebody in there and they ended up being like a player kind of energy, really dishonest or something like that. Temperance can also indicate, you know, you being single, but you feel yourself energetically or spiritually pulled towards a new partner. But regardless, it's a very emotional time. Very emotional time. But you're trying to balance a situation. And in the near future, we have the Five of Wands. I mean, it's just like you guys are going to be fighting it out. It's a minor arcana. This is nothing to really lose sleep over. It's a Saturn and Leo energy, though, and it's like when Saturn hangs out with Leo, Leo's shadow manifestation comes out a lot, so you can be dealing with a lot of ego, some self-centeredness, selfishness, right? Because this is like a battle of the wills, lack of agreement, strong opinions, fighting to be heard. But you could yell, they could yell, nobody's getting anywhere though with this kind of, like the Five of Wands, that's the thing. Five's the number of conflict, right? Because it's also the number of humanity. Isn't that sad, right? Like, we're born to argue. But it's there's some sort of conflict that's going on. But again, a minor arcana doesn't mean that it's really going to last. Now let's take a look at the advice, is the Knight of Wands energy. The advice here is to fire up your ambition. What do you really, really want? What do you want? You got to figure this out, because this is Scorpio and Sagittarius energy. So Scorpio is very intense, is the detectives of the zodiac, right? They want to go in and figure something out, right? They want to get to the bottom of something. And Sagittarius is about the truth, and it's about higher-mindedness, about moving forward with integrity. So you're very fired up having to do with this, right? You want to get to the bottom of something once and for all. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? And then we have the external energy or other energies. The energy surrounding you is the Hierophant energy. So expectations, conforming to something. Marriage, if you're in that space. Committed relationship, if you're in that space. But somebody wanting this with you, for sure. And then, like, are they willing to, though? See, now, this becomes a question of, are your, how do I want to say this? Are your expectations in the same room? Like, are they on the same page? You know, this could easily, you know, show up as, you know, look, in every relationship, I didn't mean to cut myself off, but in every relationship here, there are always three components to every relationship. It's you and everything that you bring into the relationship, your expectations, your past experiences, their expectations, their past experiences, right? It's two of you. And then the third thing is the relationship. So, and that's where the meeting in the middle has to come, right? So what do you need? What does your partner need? And then what does the relationship need in order to be healthy? Because a relationship can't function through your lens only or through their lens only, right? It's got to be this reciprocity and this meeting in the middle, right? And that's where the tempering, it seems like, needs to happen. Because I'm sensing some sort of I'm sensing an imbalance here. I'm sensing like a devil energy. No, the devil's not here, but this kind of imbalance here. See, now we have your challenge is the Ace of Wands. I don't know. I mean, the Ace of Wands could be a new relationship. So this could absolutely be, you know, are you feeling energetically drawn to somebody, that maybe you shouldn't be drawn to. This could manifest like that, or maybe your partner is, for sure. For others of you, you really want to have a new beginning with your partner, but you can't seem to make it happen. You might really want to have a baby. The idea of building a family can be the topic of conversation, but for some reason it's not happening, right? It's a very auspicious energy. But when it shows up in this fear center, it could manifest as rejection or false starts or delays or somebody being kind of mean even. And then we have as the final outcome energy, we have the Ten of Wands. This is overwhelm. This is showing up a lot this wheel. I feel like a lot of people are dealing with this. Your relationship might be even neglected right now because of so many other things going on in your life. Could certainly be that, where not the right things are being paid attention to, and therefore it's manifesting as the relationship looking like it's falling apart, where maybe all it needs is a good healthy dose of attention and romance, and sort of recalibrating of things. It's Ten of Wands is still a minor arcana, so it doesn't have to be a very long-lasting thing, but it's almost like I'm getting an energy where it's like a lot of like minutia fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like, now I'm not saying that you're being picky, but it's like there's this lack of basic agreement over how things should be rolling out. Okay, good. We got the World. Okay. So I want to get the story of that Ten of Wands energy. So we have the World energies about learning a lesson. This is the gift of Saturn after going through something really difficult, right? Completion, lesson learned, right? Recognizing what's necessary to have a happy and fulfilling and loving relationship. We have the Two of Wands energy. Now this could indicate a new romantic partner. Maybe you meet somebody new through work, through friends, through social media, I don't know. For some of you, it could mean that. For others of you, it's not that at all. For others of you, you're realizing, okay, this is what we need to feel like really like solid moving forward, right? So let's do it. Let's make plans. Let's move forward. Let's just go. But there are two aspects to the situation, and you have to figure out what the right thing is. So, but the two of you, of course, you're going to have to agree on that, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune. So for some of you, this might be somebody coming back from the past. Can be for some of you. This is in numerology. This is the Magician, which is all about a deepening of an understanding of each other through really healthy communication. And the Sun. And the Sun is just pure, it's just happiness. It's having all the tools in your toolbox to make something work, but only if it's meant to be. And I know that sounds very nebulous and annoying when I say that, but the Wheel of Fortune is just that. It's about fate. It's about good luck, but it's about, and the thing is, what does good luck mean? Isn't that that's kind of like subjective in a way, but it's bringing you where you're meant to go, even if it's where maybe you didn't see yourself going. But there's a turning point here, and there's this need to take a chance on something. So for some of you, somebody from the past can easily return, where you're like, oh my gosh, do I really even want to deal with this? Destiny's at work here. You have the power to say no. This is just like the weather report here. You don't have to get back with anybody. It doesn't mean anything. If this person was a good energy, awesome. Good luck with that, right? But it is this sort of fate is at play here. Fate is very much at play. We have the Page of Pentacles clarifying that. For some of you, maybe somebody got a new job, right? This can indicate just making, having strong resolve to have a new cycle of connection, right? Within your relationship, being super hardworking, putting a lot of work into the relationship. But, maybe low-key, not so low-key. Up in the ethers, you're feeling confused. Choices, confusion, commitment issues. I'm not sure what's real, what's not. Things feel up in the air, but you feel like you're in the beginning stages of something new. Some of you may feel like you're in the beginning stages of the end. Some of you may feel like you're at the beginning stages of leveling up your relationship, but you're feeling this newness of this something new coming in, beginning stages of it, but you can't see the hand in front of your face. So put your hands down and don't even bother trying to look anymore at this point. You're better off pressing the pause button and don't do anything just yet, because you might not have all the information. And this is Neptune, guys. Neptune is hanging in your 9th house right now, right? Which has to do with your belief system. So you just being like, what do you want from this relationship? I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, you could say the short answer is, I want to feel happy and loved and secure and all the things that everybody wants to feel. But like literally, what do you want like from this relationship? What would be necessary for that to happen for you? You know what I mean? 3 of Wands. 2 of Cups. There's got to be new here, my friends, because we got the 3 of Wands. Great energy, Sun in Aries. Fresh path, new perspective. This is no time to hide your fabulous, Cancer. This is first of all, this is an indicator for a wedding or a very important relationship. This is moving on to realize things, but as only if it's different than what you guys have been doing. So how can this manifest? That's it. Let's get engaged. Let's step it up. Let's get married. Let's have the baby. Let's buy that house. This is like literally turning your back on the past and the way things have been up to this point and just figuring it out from there. But the only thing that is sure, even if it's emotional, because look at the water, it's a little emotional here. The only thing that you do know is that you can't keep doing what you've been doing in this situation. And then we have the 2 of Cups, mutually supportive energy. Very nice. For some of you, a new passion. If you guys are in a space of ending up unattached. This is a very positive proposal coming in. If things are difficult now, they won't be. This is harmony returning. This is the ability to nurture the relationship, but only if whatever has been going on up to this point is left in the past. But there's got to be a lot of conversation going on in order for that to happen. It does seem like. Okay. Let's pull for those of you in separation, and I'll pull a couple of Island Time Wellness. I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it is being clarified by heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. So we have 2 energies of feeling lost here. I couldn't handle my true feelings for you, so I kept you as a friend and nothing more. And then we have that being clarified by seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Okay, we have a little bit of a, yeah. I'm not going to say they have narcissistic personality disorder, but that's definitely like a self-centered energy. Like, was the kind of thing where it's like, I'm so confused. It's not you, it's me. I don't know what I want anymore. Can we be friends kind of thing? Like, goodbye, right? Like, if that's the case. My spirit is always with you. Can you feel me? Do you still love me too? Hand of Cards, taking a chance, risk, being strategic, not showing your hand, gambling. Ooh, taking the chance, taking the chance. I know we've been together in past lives. I recognize you. You were never a stranger to me. And then we have ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expanding, new phase, preparing for union. All right, so this is all I could say, just as a reader, just as, I don't get on board with anyone, like, I don't judge at all, ever. Well, what I'm saying here is that you have to understand, I couldn't handle my true feelings for you, so I kept you as a friend, then nothing more. What does that mean? That means that this is somebody who's very afraid to allow themselves to be vulnerable. Right? They have an issue with vulnerability, so they're going to do something to hide behind, and that could end up being hurtful for you. So as long as you know that going in, and it's not uncommon when somebody experiences that, for them to create blockades, and sometimes that blockade is to entertain an outside energy, at least flirting or at least communicating. It almost gives them this feeling like, okay, if I allow myself to be vulnerable and it becomes too heated in here and I become too uncomfortable because I'm scared to be vulnerable, I have this release valve, this other person that I'm speaking to, right? So only you're going to know if that's your experience, but that's how these can manifest. So, you know, take what resonates, throw out the rest, but that's some food for thought if that's resonating with your situation. Anyway, I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.